Nigga fan 007. What up? You good? I'm alive, I'm breathing. Drop this shit! What up, nigga? Drop this shit! What up, nigga? Fucking head, man. So what are you niggas waiting for, man? Subscribe before the fucking interview start. You niggas is bugging out, man. Angry fan movement.
We got Play on the line. Yo, Play, what's going on, man?
I'm good. How's everybody? What's today? Hump day. It's Wednesday, right? How's everybody doing on a Wednesday?
We all fine, man. Hey, Play, you know, you do realize that in this battle rap culture, you're like an icon in this, right?
Well, I try and keep it humble, man. I think that's the best position to be. So, it's not like I started in this thing with an agenda. No, I take that back. There was an agenda trying to get into girls' pants. But, I can't claim what it turned out to be. I give the glory. In spite of what my intentions was, I give the credit to God,
Okay. Before we get into everything with you, can you break down Kid and Play, period, how everything started, how it came about, like?
Well, it's interesting. If anybody who's ever seen the movie Class Act, it's very similar to Kid and I's journey. The reason why we did that movie was because it was exactly like us, Kid was this cat that was, we were both in New York. He had transplanted from the Bronx to Queens. He was going to Bronx High School of Science, later went on to get accepted to go to Herbert H. Lehman College. As for me, I got kicked out of like 5 high schools coming up. My heroes and people I looked up to very stupidly was like the ghetto superstars, like the Fat Cats and Alpo and, even a lot of the ghetto stars in my neighborhood coming up. So I, very stupidly wanted to be like them. So I was out there in the streets doing my thing. But when I got introduced to Kid through a mutual friend, he always intrigued me because he knew words I didn't know. He was very book smart. Eventually, when I started kind of hanging out at his crib when I was playing hooky from school and kind of corrupted him, that show Jeopardy would be on, and he would be answering, like, getting 98% of the questions right on Jeopardy. So I'm like, who's this guy I'm hanging out with? You know what I'm saying? But instead of me really running from it, he kind of intrigued me. Plus, I was always, like, hood smart. I'm like, you know what? If I could mix the street wisdom with, the book knowledge, I could be unstoppable, you know what I'm saying? So we became friends. We were part of 2 different rap crews. He was part of a crew called the Turnout Brothers. I was part of a crew called the Super Lovers. And as life went on and cats had to be more responsible and get jobs and move out of their parents' home, he and I were the only 2 people left standing, decided to come together, did a little thing, getting a little street vibe in New York, New Jersey, and in Philly. That was when we were called Fresh Force. And then at the same time, another childhood friend of ours, Herbie Lovebug, eventually went on to do his thing with Salt and Pepper. And then when they started blowing up, he was getting a little bored with that and wanted to, was ready to look for his next group. So since he didn't have to reinvent the wheel with Kid and I, he took us under his umbrella. And, those girls are like our sisters, still are to this day. And, the rest is kind of like history, man. I mean, there's other, more details, but basically that's the broad strokes,
Hey, Chris, who won that battle in your opinion?
Well, it's funny. Kid put up something the other day. It was some article that somebody had put up, which they broke it down on who won that battle. And they say Kid. Kid won it for 2 reasons. Number one, he wrote the rhymes, so of course he's going to win. He wrote both rhymes, so that was a setup already. And then number 2, a lot of people don't know that when you're acting and you know how the scene's supposed to end, you're supposed to help it. So in the script, Kid is supposed to win. So it's like if you pay attention, like subliminally, I make the necessary facial expressions and the body movements to show embarrassment and to show, like I was defeated. So that plays a lot on it mentally and image-wise. So scripted, yeah, he won. He was supposed to win. That's the way the script goes, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's the answer to that.
So, I'm not going to lie. I'll be debating that right there because you was swagging on him, man. You was coming with the personals and all that. The second round he took over. The first, I think you controlled that, I thought.
Yeah, like I said, it was all acting, and he wrote it, you know what I'm saying? That was Kid's thing back in the days, He wrote a lot of the stuff. I was responsible for the visual look, the music videos, like a lot of the outfits we wore. I designed those. I designed a lot of stuff for the other people that was in our camp, Salt and Pepper, you know, Dana Dane, Kwame. I did stuff for other people like Public Enemy and Michael Jordan and all of that. Even the jackets, the Push-It jackets that the girls wear in the video and even in the new commercial, I designed those jackets. So we all had our lanes, you know. I was into the designing and the album cover looks and all that stuff, and he was into the music and the lyrics. So we were a machine. It was Idol Makers. That was the name of our company under Herbie Lovebug. So everybody had a position and had things that was our strengths as far as our talents go, you know?
Okay,
Chris,
okay.
Do you feel you guys get the accolades you deserve? Because essentially you guys are trendsetters, like you just said with the fashion. You have Foreplay out in Queens. You guys were like one of the first to do acting. You guys had a cartoon. Like, you know, you guys did a lot of the things first. Do you feel y'all get y'all just due?
Definitely. And, you know, we get it where it counts and we get it where it doesn't count. I mean, you know, to be around the new cats today and you walk into a room and they literally bow in front of you, thanking you for laying down the groundwork. A lot of that stuff doesn't get seen, you know, or there's no camera person around to show that. But we definitely get love from the new heads. And even, you know, where it really counts with I don't like calling people fans. I call them friends because fans is short for the word fanatic, and we should only be a fanatic for Jesus Christ. But we get a lot of love out there and the thing. It just never stops. Like I was telling people that TV One's getting ready to do a big special on us. They should be out in a month or two. But I was able to wrap it up and say, you know what, being a part of Kid and Play was like hitting the lifetime lottery. It like never stops. Like this year we're celebrating 25 years in the game, and it just never, people are still talking about the movie. They're still doing the dance. We just did a beautiful party, surprise party for Alicia Keys. Swiss brought us in. You know, it just never stops. You know, people don't know what happens what's going on behind the scenes, and they see what happens in the front. But you know, it's interesting because, you know, I lecture and I tell a lot of interesting stories that involves me and it doesn't involve me on how it all plays an important part. Commercial rap with the underground rap, it's like one couldn't have really succeeded without the other. You know, I don't know what would have happened with hip-hop if there wasn't defining moments that took place that some people might say was a sellout. Like still to this day, no one can dispute or beat the business numbers that House Party did. That still to this day, statistically and per screen average, a lot of businessmen and films still want to create. The movie only cost $4.5 million to make. It's still making money to this day. So, like a lot of movies, no matter how much hype they get, they don't do that kind of business. So it's like. You know, and that plays an important part to let people know, movers, shakers know, you know what, there's something to this. It definitely works. So prior to House Party coming about, hip-hop films weren't doing too well. They got great cult followings, but they didn't do big business. When House Party did its thing, you know, it definitely opened the door for hip-hop to show that it had a place in Hollywood, you know.
Yeah. Play, when we were talking, you said that hip-hop is more than just music. Elaborate a little bit more what you mean on that. What are you into now?
Well, you know, a lot of people, you know, I don't like calling it hip-hop because when it first started, it didn't have a name. It was like we're going to the jam, who's rapping on the mic, who's spinning on the turntables. It didn't have a name, and it was more in its purest form. When the name came about, and that's why when I lecture, I say what eventually became known as hip-hop. You know, I think in some parts it may have been the beginning of the end of some things, but the thing is that when people say hip-hop, I pay close attention to in what context they're saying it in, because they probably want to say rap. Because rap is the music of the culture. The culture is hip-hop, or subculture, some people may look at it as. But hip-hop, there's elements, you know. Some people say the DJ, the MC, graffiti, and breakdancing. But you do have fashion. You do have a certain style and attitude and stuff that has been birthed out of it. So it's the culture. Rap is the music, you know, and then you have, you know, neo music like the R&B, hip hop, I believe neo soul is a huge part of it too. You know, it goes on. So it's, you know, you got to pay attention to how people put it, because they're like, you know, I don't like that hip hop, you know, and they're talking about the music. They don't really sometimes mean the entire spectrum.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you want to know?
Say what?
What do you want to know? I know you lecture. You say, what do you teach?
Well, you know, Kid and I on the road a lot. We just finished a nice big gig at Vegas. Before that, I forgot where we're at. It's all a blur. Getting ready to speak at Allen University. I think I'm there next Thursday, Friday. I think it's the 17th. Then on the 18th, Kid and I have a big show in New York, and then we go on to Houston, and then we have other dates in Nevada and some other places. I don't have the calendar in front of me. But where my real passion is at is news. I've launched an online news network called Brand News, where I'm very fortunate to work with very young, innovative minds and young at heart minds to bring a balance to the news. There's more to us than the negative. Negative is a part of it because it's a part of life. It's the yin and the yang. But, you know, we're very much influential and involved in innovation where it comes to technology, where it comes to science, where it comes to health, where it comes to politics, you know, all of that. And a lot of that news doesn't get the shine that it deserves. A lot of big things are happening in the colleges and in the high schools that needs to be encouraged, nurtured, and know about. So we bring a lot of light to that, and our slogan is Brand News, where hip-hop has a new direction. I'm turning out documentaries. I just handed in what I hope is a great work for Florida A&M University. I did the official documentary of their band, the Marching 100. I'm finishing up another documentary called Can Hip Hop Go to School, which asks the question from a lot of people, friends of mine in the business, from Kevin Hart to Lance Lonzo to Talib Kweli. There's so many people in this documentary, it isn't even funny, that just raises the question that can hip hop be accredited course to be studied in universities and colleges. And I'm I'm in the middle of finishing up another one called And I Dance, which is a documentary about all the dancers from the 80s and early 90s who started out dancing with us, Salt-N-Pepa, Heavy D, Big Daddy Kane, all of that, and how they all went on to dance for Madonna, Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, without having to sell their souls, mostly dealing with women, not at a time where it wasn't about their sexuality. It was about them having skills. Like, you didn't even know they had the dope bodies they had because they were dressed in, you know, baggy clothes, you know, cross colors or Carl Kanai and all of that stuff. It wasn't until a special event that, you know, they would put on a body fit-forming dress. Did you be like, whoa, girl, I didn't know you had all of that. But, you know, you didn't know that because it was about their skills on the dance floor, or on the stage, or in the music videos, you know.
So how do you feel about that now?
I think it's unfortunate.
Okay.
I think it's unfortunate. You know, I wrap it up with this. There was a time in the late 80s and 90s where music videos was very prevalent, very influential. A lot of them, 80 to 90% of those videos, either the concept, the backdrop, or the theme had something to do with school. You know, some guys chasing after the cutie in the school, or a lunchroom food fight, or antics getting in trouble with the teacher. No matter what the concept was, it gave a subliminal message that, hey, school must be the place to be to have fun, but at the same time, you're learning something. Name one video today that takes place in a school.
That's true.
And the only place you'll see where those videos take place is in a club or in the streets. So what does that tell a young divided mind that wants to be where the action is at? It must be in the club. It must be in the streets. And I'm not knocking that, because hip-hop has grown. Club life and that kind of life, cabaret, so to speak, or, you know, that kind of thing is a part of our lives. But again, you know, I'm just asking for balance. There was a time where when you listen to the radio, Public Enemy would drop jewels, you know, political, a little rebel in them. But right after that, it would be Arrested Development, sharing with you what's going on in the South. And then maybe some Outkast, and then after that, some Kid and Play, and then after that, some Heavy D and the Boys, and some Big Daddy Kane. It was diversity, KRS-One. You know, there was a balance. There was choices. There was options. Now it's like times where I do venture to see what's going on, you know, in a young man's game right now, I feel as though I could just listen to 2 or 3 joints, and I know that's what's going to be played for like the rest of the month of the year. You know, same thing. Redundancy.
So the state of hip hop right now, basically, it's just, I mean, can it be saved? Is it even something that, I know that that's probably not what you're listening to, but ultimately, because that's what you come from, you kind of have to. You have to be aware of it. But how do you feel about it now? I feel like this it's just totally lost. I don't even listen to the radio. I haven't bought CDs in years. It's just not even worth it to me.
Well, I see hope. You know, I see hope through, you know, beautiful brothers like, you know, he's in my documentary too, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar. You know, Kanye, as eccentric as some people may feel he is when he does deliver the music, it is different. It is, you know, it is adventurous. It is creative. That's an important part too. So, and then now, you know, when you see the record sales or the you know the stream sales and stuff, I believe Kendrick and J. Cole just recently have done gold and near platinum, and that hasn't been achieved in hip hop. I think the report goes in 2 years. You know, so there's hope. You know.
Wow. So I hear you're into religion now, heavy.
No, I'm not into religion at all. I have an intimate relationship with the Lord, but I'm not into religion. Religion is usually defined as something that deals with a lot of laws, a lot of
kind of man-made.
You know, you got to do it this way, and this is the only way to do it. And you know, my manager and my agent and my accountant and lawyer is Jesus Christ, and he's a very free person. Ain't no telling where he'll have me at what time, doing what, and still laugh a lot, still enjoy hip hop, all of that. So it's like, no, it's about a relationship. You know, religion I don't adhere to, and I'm not at all. It's funny because some people have like maybe heard about what I'm into, but they take it to an extreme. I think they're really pleasantly surprised in regards to, you know, my demeanor and how I am. I'm not here to burden anybody with anything. We all have choices, and you know, it's about being free to do what you're supposed to do, not whatever you want to do. But no, I'm very anti-religion, you know.
Oh, okay.
And people don't realize it's a big difference. It's a big difference with being religious, and for some who, like myself, I consider myself being spiritual, but that's what I grew up. That's what I grew up with in my household.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's funny when people say that, and I'm not talking about or to you in particular, but it's like when I hear people say that they're spiritual, I'm like, well, I hear that, but of whose spirit? You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of spirits out there, so it's important to know whose spirit that's in you. You know.
Right, I get what you're saying. No, and just to elaborate on that, that is true, because I was talking to somebody else about that before in regard to a battle that just dropped. But the spirituality, like in my house, you believed of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, absolutely. But as far as, like you said, being confined to what the Bible tells you to do, when everybody reads the Bible, they don't depict the Bible in the same way. So, you really can't. You know what I mean? So just to kind of bring that around,
No, I got you. I appreciate it. But like I said, that wasn't aimed at you. It was just bringing to memory that some people, you know, they'll disguise. They're like, no, I'm very spiritual. And I'm like, okay, but of whose spirit? You know, because even at the liquor stores, it's called wines and spirits.
Wines and spirits. That's true.
So I hear you.
Hey, Quit. I don't mean to go left real quick. How do you feel about all these police shootings and everything? Like, how do you feel about all this? I don't know if you realize, but in North Carolina, someone got shot in the back 8 times.
Yeah, I was just telling my right hand man about that. He didn't know about it yet. It's like these officers have Tourette's. You know what I'm saying? Shooting Tourette syndrome or something. It's because they, you know, it's my grandmother used to call that activity of the devil. You know, being a bold fool. And it's just something about, you know, I think there was a time where it was very cleverly disguised or hidden, but it's like now it just seems like everything that's just been going on in the dark, especially in the heart of a dark heart, is coming to light. So to be so reckless and careless to just be so out there, being caught on camera or doing things in broad daylight. It reminds me of like when you see these movies with the good guy and the bad guy. It's like the bad guy's about to get away with this diabolical scheme that he got away with, but he always gets caught because at the end he decides he wants to talk about how he got away with it or how he did what he did, and while he's given this speech about what he did, now the good guy has a chance to, you know, to beat him. So that's what it seems like here. It's like these people, it's like, you know, they just seem like because of pride, you know, and my sister was a cop. I know, speaking of spirit, how those spirits go, because they deal with a lot. It doesn't justify how they vent it or, you know, act on it. But the thing is that, you know, it's just a lot of stuff is just coming to light. It's unfortunate. It's crazy. It's bad. And it's, we got to be careful. You know, Black Lives Matter, you know.
We agree. As a hip-hop having a voice, how do you feel about Kanye West?
I like him a lot. He inspires me creatively. You know, it's something about when I, you know, pay attention to him or whatever the case may be. He stirs up something in me that motivates me. So I appreciate him. I appreciate everybody has a place. You might not like it, and in some cases it's not good, but everybody has a place. You cannot appreciate good without bad. You know, you cannot value gain without loss. Everything has a place, and it's not always feels good, and it's unfortunate. But everything has a place, has a position, has a part, whether we like it or not. You know, God is in control, so He knows what He's doing. And when you look back and you see how things played out, if you really pay attention, more than likely you'll go, "Oh, that's why," you know, or whatever.
Mhm. Wow. Okay, man. Yo, I'm kind of surprised. Like, I didn't know that you and Kid were still doing tours like that. I really didn't know that.
Well, that's the funny thing about this business. I mean, when you have the kind of big things going on, you know, well, it's a different thing now. Everything's so viral, but you know, you got the kind of situations or structures that, you know, everybody knows about it, but things are so out there now. It's like a lot of people are touring, you know what I'm saying? A lot, you know, all over the place. But because you're doing a show in so-and-so South Carolina, why would they promote it where you're at? You know what I'm saying? So it's like you just don't know until someone's coming to your town and stuff. But no, we've been very active.
Okay, so it is.
Chris, let me ask you the moment, as a fan, where were you at the inception of the Kick Step, and did y'all immediately know this is going to be a hit, like a phenomenon?
No, not at all. You know, and nobody can really claim that. It's like most hit records were B-sides. You know, they weren't usually the single. They were usually like the B-side, or it happened at the last minute, you know, that kind of thing. And for us, it really came out of a birth of a little bit of desperation, because when we really started taking off and starting to do shows, it still wasn't in the budget for us to bring our dancers with us. But we knew dancing was a big part of our, you know, what they call a brand right now. So we always had the greatest relationships with dancers we knew, especially in the New York area. That's why that video for Too Hype was done. Not Too Hype, the video for Getting Funky was done, because that was our tribute to all our friends and New York dancers. So, you know, we had was working with one of our friends. It was a group called TLC, and one of the dancers in it was Swatch, Little Bit, and Hi-Hat. Hi-Hat went on to become Missy Elliott's right-hand choreographer, and has choreographed a lot of other famous people and famous music videos and stuff, especially, well, not with Aaliyah, that's with Fatima. But anyway, so I remember when we were like, okay, what are we going to do about dancing? And we just was brainstorming and coming up with moves they were showing us to be able to do with just being two people, and that's how that was birthed. But no, we had no idea that was going to I think what made it really put it on the map was not only because the first time we did it was in Rolling with Kid and Play, Ola Ola A. But I think when it really took off is when we did it in the movie, and we knew there was a part in the movie where it was this dance battle. So we just picked and plucked different moves we did already at our concerts, and that was one of them. And that's what took it to another level.
Do you on a daily basis? Do you?
Go ahead, Wayne.
Yes.
I wanted to keep it on the dancers. Whatever happened to? I cannot think of her name. I've been trying to think of her name this whole time. Legs. Was it Leslie or I don't know if it was Lisa?
Who's talking about Big Legs?
Big Legs.
Yes,
Big
yes,
Legs.
I
They
love
rap
her.
Yeah,
Oh
she's still
God,
cool. She's in my
her.
documentary too. She's in it too. She was known for being the silhouette in Living Single, the television show. She was the first ones that was doing the rap shows on BET. I think it was Rap City.
Yep.
She was a host one time with that. And I'm trying to think of what else. Quite a few joints, but no, she's still doing her thing. Had a great time with her for her interview for this documentary as well. But no, she's doing really well. She's on Facebook.
That is great. That's great. I need to find her.
I got Josie. There used to be one of the Fly Girls. I got a couple of the original Soul Train dancers in it. I have quite a few people. Kane's dancers, MC Light's dancers, leg 1 and leg 2. Everybody. Oliver was in all the Madonna videos. Who else? No, Oliver. Yeah, Oliver was Janet Jackson, bald-headed, light-skinned dude. That was Omar, and then Oliver is the one that was in a lot of the Madonna videos, and then Stretch and all of them that was in the Michael Jackson. Do you remember the time? All of that, yeah.
Yeah, you just throw names out. Wow, this is a crazy interview. Some of these names is just like, wow, you're taking it back. That's what's up right there, man.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, it's all about preservation. You know what I'm saying? You know, how you going to know your future if you're not hip to your history? And I try to contribute to preserve that. You know what I'm saying? It's like very, very important. And like I said, I'm not one of those older heads just knocking the new game. Not at all. I mean, I'm not even trying to compete, nor do I want to. I enjoy my 70s and early 80s and a little bit of the 60s. My era is the disco and R&B. That's my joint right there. That's where where when I want to get away from it all, that's where I go.
Let me ask you a question. Is it all right, you being a hip hop legend, how is your everyday life? Like you obviously aren't.
I'm very much a recluse. I'm not a very, if I don't have to be, I'm not really out there. You know, that's what kind of makes Kid and our life interesting. He's the party cat. He's out there. I live vicariously through him. But I'm very much behind a computer. I'm a geek. I've become a geek. I'm very much into technology, very much into all of that. So it's like, and very proud of it, you know.
Okay. Because it has to be hard to just go to this stuff when someone recognizes you. It's just like, now they want to...
It just depends. I mean, I can do the hat and glasses thing. I ain't talking about sunglasses or nothing like that. But the trick, too, and that's another thing that kind of tickles me, is when people in the business complain that they got, you know, bombarded or you know, just a lot of people rolled up on them. It's like, if you came out there with a bunch of gold chains and you traveling deep with people, whatever you're doing to draw attention to yourself, that's what's going to make people come to you, and you make an announcement that you're there. But a lot of times where I'm at or where I choose to go, nobody's looking for me or expecting me or any of that stuff. So it's like hiding in plain sight. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good, you know. Just keep it moving. You know?
Wow.
Nobody wakes up in the morning going, yeah, I think I'm going to run into one of them house party guys today. Nobody's thinking that. People are trying to get to work. They got concerns. You know, they got their own lives. And, you know, what usually gives me away, let's just say I don't have a hat on, or usually when I talk, that's what gives it away. They'll be like, I thought that was you, but then when you spoke, I knew it was you. So sometimes I just be careful when I'm ready to say something.
Yeah, because you probably have... You ever had the paparazzi problems?
Only when I go to L.A. TMZ has a habit of usually always catching me getting off of a whatchamacallit. Last time they got me and whatchamacallit was hanging out Mystico, and they caught us. I just said to him, we just got off the plane, and I said some joke about I got to watch out for TMZ. They usually whatever, and like About 5 minutes after I said that, bam, they were right in both our faces.
So you hang out with some of these artists of today, some of these artists at times.
Yeah, when I'm out and about, you know, when we're doing shows and stuff, like we got this next big one with Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh and Mr.
Wow.
Oh, my
and a bunch
God.
of others. That's a big show we're getting ready to do. And then I got the one in Houston is with SWV and with Omarion and a couple of others. So, yeah. You know, it's like going to the office.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? That you throw these names out there like they're nothing. But to the average fan, it's just like, wow, like, you don't even get it, I don't think. Like, you do, but
of course we know nobody's nothing. But it's like when you knew people win, it's like, you know, even with, you know, you just know them and you know what this is about. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the last thing you want to do is be somebody that's making somebody feel uncomfortable in a place where they want to just let their hair down. You know, things like that. So it's, you know, I don't mean for it to make it sound like there's nothing, but it's like, I know what it is. You know what I'm saying? I know what it is. You know, we got bills and issues and things we face like everybody else. So it's like, it's really usually a job, you know. Sometimes a lot of us, I know it's like me, I can't wait to get through being on the stage, because then I could either, now I can go ahead and enjoy somebody else's performance, or I can get to my hotel, you know. But I appreciate the love. I love the love. It's nothing like it.
It has to. Yeah. It has to feel. I'm sorry. It has to feel good to actually be appreciated that people are still lining up to see these different shows. Like when, you know, with my mom and dad, you know, go see a Luther Vandross concert or a Stevie Wonder concert, you know, the crowds are packed. But like for us, a Dougie Fresh, Slick Rick, oh my God, Kid and Play. You mentioned Kwame. I mean, I was the biggest Kwame fan, and Father MC. Oh God, I mean those
all good people.
Seriously, those loved them.
No, I hear what you're saying, and like I said, I feel the same way. The greatest thing is definitely, like I said before, it's like hitting the lottery, but then also in addition to that, you know, it gives me the opportunity to have the best seat in the house to watch others, you know, do their things, and I go nuts like everybody else, you know, showing that appreciation and that love. You know, it's all good.
Hey, Player,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Player.
No, I was going to say, and on that note, I got to get ready to close out. But any other good questions there? You guys are great interviewers.
Oh man,
I have a great question. This is a question that we ask just of hip hop. In a battle rap, who do you have, Rockin or Big Daddy Kane?
Good answer. Good question.
You said Rockin or Big Daddy Kane?
Yes. K-Slay will never answer this question.
Well, it's a difficult question to kind of answer because it's like apples and oranges. It's like Rakim's dropping that knowledge. Kane's dropping those, you know, those not haikus, but those, you know, those one-liners, you know, those very smart metaphors and things of that nature. I'm trying to really base it on not their skills, because I both believe they're equal, but I'm trying to compare it with the hits. Like, who would go the distance as far as the longest back-to-back-to-back hits. And I think on that note, I would have to give it to Big Daddy Kane. As far as hits. You know, not skills, but as far as hits.
Okay.
Because with, you know, I live in a time, you know, being great friends with both of these guys, is that I remember the anticipation of their records when the rumors was out that Mr. Magic was going to play the world premiere this upcoming Friday of the new Eric B. and Rakim joint. I'll never forget the first time hearing. I got Soul. You know, you got Soul, Melody. You know, a lot of those. But then with Kane, you know, those are some real headbangers in the clubs. You know what I'm saying? So it's neck and neck, and it's a question I really want to avoid. but it's, like I said, only based on the amount of hits or, you know, a streak that I would give it to Kane.
Hey, play two things before time off. Number one, where can we follow you at? Where can we find you and follow everything you're doing? Number two, I need you to shout out Angry Fan Radio. I need this.
You said Angry Fan Radio?
I'm an angry fan. It's battle rap. I'll talk to you about it. I'm surprised Mommy ain't tell you about all that, but Angry Fans Radio.
Okay, so in regards to finding me, it's very simple. It's at It's Brand News. It's at ITZ Brand News, BRANDNEWZ. So everything that's supposed to have an S is replaced with a Z. So it's Brand News. As far as Kid and Play, it's Kid and Play, but that is what it is. ITS, Kid, KID, the letter N, PLAY. So it's Kid and Play with the S and the it's. But to follow me, it's Brand News, everything with a Z in it. That's Instagram, that's Twitter. And if you go to brandnews.com, you can, on the home page is all the links. Click to the links to every social media thing from me. So it's just simple, brandnews.com with a Z in it. I just want to give a big shout out from the P to the L to the A to the Y, the fellow with the low top fade, to Angry Fan Radio. That's what's up.
Down the line, I got to get you back on. I don't ask for much.
Nah, no problem. Give me a couple of weeks, but we can rock out again.
Hey, I definitely appreciate it, man. Real talk, I definitely appreciate this.
Definitely.
No problem, God bless you all.
Absolutely.
I appreciate y'all, and keep good hip hop alive.
You too. Thank you. Definitely.
Thank you, Fred. You be safe out there. Peace.
You too.
Nigga fan 007. What up? You good? I'm alive, I'm breathing. Shot this shit. What up, nigga? Shot this shit. What up, nigga? Fucking head, man.